Hey, it's Friday, and that means it's Family Friday, where we talk about family, marriage, and all kinds of things like that. And today, we're going to talk about what we don't like about each other. Everybody's got things about their spouse that they don't like. The question is, how do you handle that? I love Tina. I think she's amazing, but there's some things I don't like about her.
And I love Andy to pieces, but there's some things that I don't really like about him either.
It seemed like we became aware of how deeply this ran in our first year of marriage. Towards the end of our first year of marriage, Tina and I went on a mission trip to South Africa, and the pastor and his wife there were very godly, and so we asked them to mentor us in our marriage. And one of the things that the pastor did is he had us fill out a personality quiz on ourselves and on our spouse. So I filled in bubbles for me, whether I was introvert or extrovert or this or that. And I filled them out for Tina, and she did the same thing for me. When we were done, he took the tests and he compared what I thought about me and what Tina thought about me and what I thought about Tina and what
I thought about me.
Yeah. And so we compared them, and he really wasn't judging to see, if there was a problem with our personality, but he wanted to see where there was a discrepancy between how I saw myself and how Tina saw me. And we discovered that there was a big problem in one area. I thought I was off the charts when it came to being disciplined.
I didn't think he was very disciplined at all.
She thought I was like a total loser, slob or something. I don't know what the deal was.
If there was a mark for that, I would have marked it.
So he turned to us when he pointed this out, and he said, "Andy, you gave yourself very high marks when it came to discipline. What were you thinking of when you thought of this?" And I said, I'm a self-starter, I'm self-managed, I work hard, I set goals, I focus on those, I get things done, I'm very productive. I wake up early in the morning, I have my quiet time every day, I'm memorizing scripture all the time. I am a disciplined person. So I knew Tina was wrong. And then he turned to Tina and said, "Tina, what were you thinking of when you marked Andy like off the charts, undisciplined?"
And I was thinking of around the house how he doesn't think about picking up after himself. And in my mind, that lacked discipline. I had a tendency to almost get my feelings hurt or feel offended anytime I saw his clothes lying around or his socks, because it felt like to me that he was expecting me to do it, to be his maid, or that he didn't care enough to clean up after himself, that it was something that he just didn't value me and my time of having to do it.
So she would see this little rapture pile, is what we call them.
Clothes, because they just, wherever he takes them off, that's where they stay.
Lie. And she would see that. What would that pile say to you?
He doesn't care about me.
And so that's how she was interpreting that pile of clothes. He doesn't care about me. He expects me to do this all. And for me, that little pile of clothes just meant that's where I was when I was done with my clothes. I had to realize that it was affecting Tina. And so I had to learn to listen to her and to see how I was making her feel. I couldn't just ask her to change her thoughts. Okay, don't think that. As men, one of the problems that we often have is we try to manage the way that women feel, and just tell them, okay, you change the way you think. Don't feel that way. And
good luck.
Sometimes that doesn't work. But I could explain to her my own thought process, and I had some changing to do. I told her, I said, "Sweetheart, I want to let you know that I truly value you, and I'm sorry that I've been making more work for you to do and have been doing this and out of negligence have made you feel bad. But what I'd like to ask you is this. This is a habit of mine that has got to change, and I need to ask your patience. That when you see, if I'm going to try my best to not leave piles of clothes around. However, I don't have a lot of confidence that that's going to change overnight. So here's what I want to ask you to do, is if you see a pile of clothes that's in your way and making your life miserable, to either one, leave it there, or two, tell me about it, but to do it knowing that I really want to help. Can you assume that I really want to be a better husband? Don't come to me with like attitude, again, oh gosh, that's not what I needed. Or the third is just, you can move the pile, but don't put it away from me because I'm not asking you to be a maid. Just put it somewhere where it's in my way and not in yours. Make my problems my problem. I don't want to make my problems your problem. So pretty much in a couple days, from now on, I just pick everything up all the time, right?
No, 25 years later, we still have some moments here and there. So when I see a pile now, I can say, God bless him. I love him.
I get blessed a lot.
I do. And I will either move it out of his way, or I kind of send a little friendly, hey, are you done with this? Or whatever. But I am free, though, to not feel offended anymore. It's just kind of how we grew up, and a habit. Good habits and bad habits we both have. And we don't have to take those things personally. We can expect the best of each other.
Every marriage and every person in a marriage, you're gonna have things that you find that you don't really like about one another, and sometimes those things change, and sometimes they don't change very fast or very much. I mean, when it comes to who's organized around here, Tina's still the organized one. I'm still the one who needs a lot of reminders and leave awake. I clean in spurts pretty much because I'm really focused on productivity, not keeping things organized. My problem is being orderly around the house. Tina's problem is getting places on time. My problem is socks, her problem is clocks.
I don't mean to always be running late, but I kind of lose track of time. It's not that big of a deal, but when we first got married, it was a big. I had high school coaches that would make us run wind sprints, and they had a saying, if you're not early, you're late. And so that was that was the way it worked for me. And Tina made us late going everywhere, and my attitude was not good. It was important for me to realize that Tina is really doing her best. I had to let Tina do her and not try to manage her and stand over her, because that just frustrated her. I could let her know, hey, we got about 30 minutes before we can get there, and to not do it with a frustrated tone, get it together or else sort of attitude. I have to let Tina do her, and then realize sometimes people are late, and very often Tina is late. And so I had a choice. We could get there a little bit late and on time and happy because I didn't make a big deal of it, or I could constantly make a big deal of it and allow that to continue to drive a wedge in between our relationship. So I had to decide to be on her team and to not be against her, and to put a barrier to say, okay, you have to be on time or else. I'm not going to be happy with you if you make us late. And so I could adopt a stance of blame and accusation, or I could say, you know what? More than being on time, you matter to me. I need to value her. And she gives me the benefit of the doubt. So in your relationships, you can choose to focus on the problems and the negatives and the things that you don't like about one another, and demand that one another change in order to be happy.
Yeah.
that's not going to make you happy.
Love does not demand its own way. Let the relationship grow by choosing to love one another instead of loving being on time and loving having an orderly house. You know, truthfully, we have those kind of decisions to make. Are you going to love your spouse? Are you going to love people? Are you going to love God? Or are you going to love getting your way? And don't let the problem come between you. Come together to work on the problem. If you're enjoying these Full Speed blogs, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Thanks a lot. Remember, look at the lens.
Yeah, I'm looking at the lens.
Okay. I have to remind myself. Hey, it's family.
You can do this.
Yeah.